Okay. And now we are live, and you wouldn't believe the really heinous things these guys have been saying in the back room. But it's completely fine.
Sukuigar.
Yeah.
No, not. Hey, come on now, quit outing us.
Don't call us out.
Quit doxing us, dude. That's not cool.
That's
I
not
tell
cool,
you.
dude.
What the heck, bro?
Okay.
Hey, guys.
Friends.
Sorry,
Hey,
I
man.
fell out. I'm back.
No, completely fine. And we're actually live now. So,
Nice.
we are here to talk about the fantabulous first two episodes of Ahsoka, and
The
you will hear
impeccable.
me,
Yay.
and you will hear me throughout this stream. I'm sure mispronounce Ahsoka's name multiple times, but you will never
Ashoka.
hear, but you will never ever
Asaka.
hear me call her Ashoka because
Asaka
unlike some of her fans, I actually know that the H comes before the S.
Yeah, we had me and Nat had a whole debate on people who are fans of hers that doesn't pronounce her correctly, but they call themselves fans.
If you're a fan
Bash myself across the
Ahsoka,
face.
you damn well better know that the H comes before the S because I'm not a fan of her, and I know that. So,
Ashoka.
Here's some fun trivia for you guys. Did you know that Star Wars Twitter nearly killed Mark Hamill because he didn't know who Ahsoka was?
I had not seen that.
You know that's
Oh,
fun.
that's hilarious. Oh my god.
That's funny, Dan, because Luke and Ahsoka met in or they were together in Book of Boba Fett.
This was before that appearance in Book of Boba Fett. This was a
Mark
while
Hamill.
ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mark Hamill genuinely didn't know who Ahsoka was.
So yeah, let's just go around the table. I'm NetCat, and after watching these episodes, I was mostly underwhelmed, but it honestly wasn't bad or anywhere near as bad as some of the people I've seen say. So yeah. Oh, over to you, Natsa.
Oh, I'm Nazo Sukuigar. Most know me from the Vodeon Star Wars community or from a couple of the group chats or hot takes that I've done occasionally on Twitter. But yeah, as far as my view of the episodes, the first one was interesting, kind of just decent, okay. Second one was a little less interesting.
Okay.
And it has a lot of interesting ideas. I'll give it that. But like stuff it's done before.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Over to you, Sammy.
Oh, hello. My name is Sammy Sukuigar. I'm maybe you've seen me on Twitter, whatever. My thoughts on the episodes were that they were good. Or I gave it a 7, but yeah, so that's my summary.
Okay. And if JG is actually available, but he's muted right now, so he might be driving or whatnot.
Oh, hold up. JG is using one of my alt's profile pics.
Wait, Nazo,
Nice.
Nazo, isn't that your RP account pick?
Yeah. My roleplay account.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like he's not available. So over to Knight Lucas Legacy, aka Dan.
Hi, I'm Knight Lucas Legacy, and my personal opinion on the Ahsoka episodes is that they're okay, which is what I'd say the same for most of Filoni's later work.
Okay.
Honestly, just okay.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Dave Filoni is just the guy who delivers okay Star Wars.
Master of
I would
Retcon.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, I have
would
a
even
question.
go. Here's the thing. I would
What
even
do
take
you
it a
think of
step further.
Resistance?
Even the Clone Wars was okay.
What was Filoni responsible for Resistance?
Yes, he was.
Semi.
What do you think? What do you think of Resistance?
Garbage.
Well, yes. I was asking Dan. I was actually trying to ask Dan that.
He was asking
What's-
Sammy. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I was asking Dan that.
What, me? Oh.
Yes, because you
Oh,
said that because you said that most of his stuff has been okay, and I'm asking what you think about Resistance specifically.
Resistance is a part of that collage. It's a part of it's the one thing I'll say is completely trash from Filoni.
Okay.
I was gravely
Thank
disappointed.
you.
You know what? I'll say this. Why call it Star Wars Resistance? They should have called it Star Wars Racers. I think that would have fit the show better.
From what I saw of the first few episodes, that sounds accurate, and
Dude,
that
they
actually,
don't even.
and the fact that you're willing to actually admit that it validates it's your opinion to me at least a bit.
Dude,
No, I know season 2 goes into to the Resistance First Order shit, but you could have called it Star Wars Racers.
Yeah, they even
The Resistance Saga or something.
I thought it
Yeah.
was cool when they showed the Hosnian Prime or whatever getting destroyed Hosnian system. That was cool.
Also, how is
Um,
BB-8 in 2 places at once? Sorry, I just
it was interesting to see the connection to the Force Awakens in that, but like, I still think I was still disappointed with Kaz's reaction to it because
Mhm.
in that instance, like basically his entire family and friends may have just been blown to bits, and the reaction is he's using stun on his weapon and cracking jokes instead of feeling either absolute anger or absolute despair.
and that's
Yeah.
that classic Disney Star Wars effect.
Hmm.
Hey, look, my parents just got blown up. I'm laughing.
My dad's dead. My dad's dead. Let's go stun some stormtroopers.
Oh,
Who the hell shot my son?
oh, and by the way, since Dan hasn't actually been on one of these streams before, the way that I tend to do this is I actually have the entire episode queued up, and I just kind of go through it like this,
Yeah, that's cool.
Moment
with
by moment.
subtitles. So
I actually prefer that
it actually
style.
so it actually kind of keeps us grounded in what we're actually talking about once we start talking about the episode in particular. And with the subtitles, we don't need to hear it, but it'll have us know what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And also
Hey,
that
look,
way I don't get struck for actually playing the actual episode.
Hey, look, I prefer your approach. Whenever I do live streams, we just talk about the subject and maybe we show some pictures. If we do stream something, it's usually a reaction event, but that's those
Oh,
are.
that's a different sort of thing.
I know. I'm saying I approach. I prefer your style.
And typically, if I'm going to do that, it's going to be something like talking about Andrew Tate or something like that.
Oh no.
Blech.
Okay,
No,
Andrew Tate.
but I mean, typically, it's about a specific video I want to react to, not
That's
reacting
cool.
to an actual episode of something. With an episode of something, it's like, yeah, let's actually just step through it.
I'm still not getting over the fact that I basically messed with Sammy. You know, saying that he's basically Andrew Tate. When you look at the when you look at the Myers Briggs, when you look at the 16 Myers Briggs personality types, Sammy has the same one as Andrew Tate.
Dan,
That's
don't forget,
hilarious.
I have the same as Han Solo as well.
Oh, dear
Yeah,
Lord.
you have the same as Han Solo as well, a drug smuggler.
I really shouldn't have brought Andrew Tate up.
You know what's you know what's funny, Dan? It's funny because
Let's just make it clear: Andrew Tate is a piece of shit. And if anyone thinks that Andrew Tate isn't, we have some things to watch together.
I'm actually very neutral on the man. I just don't get why people care about him all that much in terms of who he is as a person.
If you're neutral about him, you and I, if you wouldn't mind, I might actually have something that I might want to watch with you, maybe privately, because I was neutral on him until some of the shit that I watched, and I was like, holy shit, people look up to this guy.
Yeah, well, I got a friend. He adores and worships this guy, and I have other friends who despise him. So I'm basically friends with both with people that love and hate this man, and I'm just sitting there in the middle, like I don't care about Andrew Tate. I don't get the appeal.
That's where I used to be, and then I saw things.
Oh, you saw things you can't unsee.
Was it the sex trafficking?
No, but actually, if you guys have paid attention to my channel, I streamed about this like a week or two ago.
But,
But-
yeah, let's not get lost on him.
Yeah,
I don't
let's
want to
not-
like usurp
but-
your thing.
No, but seriously, if you'd be interested, I'll show you some of the stuff I've looked at later.
Sure, dude. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so somebody was somebody in the back room was talking about the opening crawl, and honestly, I'm sorry, with the opening crawl, there is something iconic about the original movies. If you're going to do an opening crawl, having it actually crawl away from us instead of just scroll, I think I think that would have gone a long way towards making this actually feel like Star Wars.
You know,
Does
I'll
that-
honestly take this over just constant Disney projects that just flash to the title and then just show the events.
Oh.
I'm getting tired of that.
Oh, 100%. This is a good midway, but somebody, I forget who it was that was asking what I thought about the crawl, and I'm just saying that I think that a crawl would be better, but thinking that giving this to actually set the scene, I'm not bitching at all about the fact that they're giving us text to read. I'm just saying that if I had my druthers, there's centering the stuff on the screen and then having it crawl away from us would actually be better. But this is better than not having this at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, you're talking about like if it's gonna come from the top and then go down to the bottom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which would work a lot better. And to be honest with you, when I saw the text, my first vibe is like, oh, this is like a comic.
Okay.
It's like
By the way,
it's like the opening to a Star Wars comic where there's like a whole text wall that explains the current status.
Yeah, I
And then
agree with you,
starts it
Nazo.
off.
This would fit as a comic. Like every
Mhm.
bit of it.
and by the way, my thought about about wanting it to actually be a crawl didn't even occur to me until the question was made in the back stream about in the back room about what I thought about the crawl, and I was like, I would have liked it to actually be a crawl, but I didn't even think of it when first watching it, so it's not negative. It's just something that could have been more of a positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to be honest, it's not the first time Star Wars has done like a particular like unique crawl. Back in the day, the one that had like the most unique type of like opening crawl, although it wasn't really a crawl because it was just words pop up and then the screen goes black, is like the text from Republic Commando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I have to admit, while reading this opening crawl was hey, there's a former Jedi Knight Asuka Tano. She's captured one of his allies and delivered a secret map, which is vital to the enemy's plan. So now we need to find a map to find somebody.
You know what? I'll say.
Does this remind anybody of a different movie? Say
With the same beginning title, right?
Oh no.
the Force Awakens,
Oh no. Why? Not
because
the
they
Force
were.
Awakens.
But that's what that's what we were told in the crawl there too. That we were looking for a map to find Luke Skywalker. Now we're looking for
You know
a
what?
map to find
Maybe
Grand
this
Admiral
is-
Thrawn.
Grand Admiral
Maybe-
Thrawn. Oh, you gotta be kidding
NetCat,
me!
NetCat, maybe this is Dave's way of telling JJ, I can do your shit the better.
Maybe.
Maybe. No. When you really pay attention, a lot of the plot points in these two episodes line up with what they were trying to do in the sequels, but they're more tolerable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say this line of dialogue where Ahsoka says she's going after, where Ahsoka captured Morgan Elizabeth Esmith. I didn't remember the character per se.
I did.
But I did remember that this is a reference to when Ahsoka fought her in The Mandalorian. I do remember that.
Oh, was that actually the? Oh crap! That was that
Yeah.
person,
It was
wasn't
it was the season 2 in the Ahsoka episode.
I
The
think I
Okay.
heard
Jedi.
she's Bruce Lee's granddaughter. I think someone said that.
You know, I might actually have that on my hard drive. I'm not sure. I, I haven't downloaded a lot of this stuff, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, and honestly, with Morgan Elsbeth, this is a complete non sequitur. But there's a character from another book series that I really like named Elspeth with a P instead of a B, and I read that it was like, and it was just immediately what.
What?
It's a. I know. I don't know if it's a reference. Maybe.
No, it's certainly not a reference to the book I'm thinking of. It's certainly not.
Unless Dave Filoni happens to be a fan of that book series.
Maybe.
Well, if it's a reference, then it's very strange because there's nothing in common between this character and the character I'm talking about. Oh,
Could
also,
just be
let's
him
just
saying, "I like this name."
true. Also, yay! We're transporting a prisoner to the New Republic for trial, but Ahsoka is not coming with. This of course will end well, right?
Question: This is like the second time that they've tried to deliver a prisoner to the New Republic for trial, and have failed absolutely miserably.
Yeah, Nazo saw me bitching about this in our group chat yesterday.
I mean, when your police force is just a bunch of retired rebels in X-wings, it makes sense that you don't
It's
know
not
how to
even just
capture
retired
the
rebels. Like the New Republic is incompetent.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they
you
are.
see what that did you see what that captain did? He didn't recall saying, identify yourselves. He didn't send in a fighter escort. He didn't fire on the thing in case
a boarding party.
because he was like, please board my vessel with a lightly guarded group.
Yes.
You have no idea
Nazo,
who's aboard that shuttle.
yeah, Nazo, that's exactly when my gears went off, man. When this episode started, I'm like, you know that this is an old code. That's what your people are telling you, and you think it's a wise idea to let whoever these people are on your ship.
Oh, okay,
Like,
just to be clear, I'm not defending him, but I'm being clear. He doesn't believe it. He's in his mind. He's calling their bluff.
I get
It-
that. I'm
yeah.
just saying that if I was in his shoes, NetCat, even if I thought they were scammers, I would not trust. To
Oh
put them
no,
on
no,
my
I'm not
ship.
arguing. I was just making it clear.
Yeah.
I don't know what it.
Once again, not Nazo has already seen me arguing this point.
Hey, you know
I
what,
just-
NetCat?
I'm like, I don't know
Here's
what it is, but it's like every time it's a New Republic officer, unless
They're
it's like one of
stupid.
the main. Well, unless it's like one of the main characters in this government, it's like their brain turns off. Like,
I
Hey,
mean,
NetCat, here's what I can do to defend this guy. Maybe this has happened on multiple occasions where people have pretended to be Jedi. He lets them on their ship and he finds out they're scammers. That's the best I can do to defend this guy.
oh, do you want to know the defense that I've come up with?
that's a
What?
piss poor defense.
That he's gotten
Yes.
his position through nepotism or bribery, which explains
here's-
why.
believe that.
Which explains why someone this incompetent has managed
Yeah.
to actually rise this high. And
But
I
You know
like
what that reminds me of? You know what that reminds me of, Ned, is every time we have these side characters where you know what's going to happen to them because they have incompetence and you know they're going to get it. It reminds me of the red shirts on Star Trek. But this is how you identify him in Star Wars.
Yep.
No, well,
Yes.
Yeah.
I honestly thought they were going to play it differently. I thought, he was going to I thought he was going to do heavy guard, let them on board, find out that they have lightsabers, assume that, oh, these are Jedi. They must be survivors from the Purge. Yes, you must be friends of Ahsoka. I thought they would do something clever like that, where like they would play like, yes, Ahsoka Tano sent us to, look into the matter of this prisoner. And then when he gets to the cell, then he busts her out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Nazo, I would have preferred it if the Dark Jedi basically, was just crashed into their ship. Like they got in there by force, and they're basically trying to protect the prisoner as they're slashing them down.
Yeah. Have we ever heard of using a boarding party? Because okay,
No.
you want to you
Defend
actually
them in
want
this.
to call their bluff. Call their bluff by saying, "What? No, we're going to send a boarding party aboard, and you can prove your credentials to them." So they board the shuttle without the captain being involved. We don't let them on our motherfucking ship. And
I'll say this in defense of the guy. Other than Luke Skywalker and maybe Ezra Bridger and Kanan Jarrus, Jedi have not been seen very often.
Here's
So
the thing. I don't care if they're Jedi or not. You let someone on board that you don't know, that you're actually distrustful of. You don't need to have superpowers to be super dangerous.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, here's the thing. They didn't even need to be Jedi with lightsabers. They could have just been like,
That's my
for
point.
example, you have like one or two. Here's the thing. You have like one or two assassins get off the ship, and then they hit a switch, and then a whole bunch of like HK droids come out with electro staffs, and then all of a sudden you're outnumbered with like an
Yeah.
overall. I'm not even again. Don't even use the Jedi. Don't even use the Jedi with lightsaber. You're
Yeah,
outnumbered and outgunned right then and there because you've got
that's
two ace
literally my
assassins.
point.
Yeah.
And he's there standing in front of the actual. Oh, one sec. We go through we go through this. He is in front of his squad. The captain is going, shoot me. And okay, maybe if he's shot, the people shooting him die next, but the captain's still dead.
I take it from what I understand, like all complaints and critiques aside, I take it what Dave was trying to do was show that this was one of those overconfident, prideful sorts of captains that believe they have everything under control because they have years of experience and
Oh
they've
God,
seen
like we haven't
everything.
gotten that
No,
trope a billion times
no,
already.
those ones are the ones that will actually be more are the ones that are going to be more or more cautious, and they might invite the person on board and send a platoon down. They don't.
I'm just saying what I think his intentions are.
That might be his intention, but if it is, he doesn't. He needs to talk to people who've actually been in the line of fire a few times.
I'm just assuming he's going for this no country for old men type of message where this old guy doesn't know that there are things he can't, he doesn't understand.
Hence,
Maybe
me
I don't
talking.
know.
Bro,
Hence,
if you've
me
seen
talking
Luke
about him getting up
Skywalker and
there.
Ahsoka Tano, there are things you don't understand.
Hence, we talk about my excuse for him being nepotism or bribery, because what you're talking there is incompetence, not
Yeah,
competence.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like I think Dave was trying to write an incompetent, like he was intentionally. But you know what? Honestly,
And the
what would
terrible
make
thing
this
is the terrible thing is that the way that they're writing the New Republic actually makes that make sense, and that is terrible.
exactly.
It's terrible because it makes
Honestly, what would
because one thing that Nazo and I have talked about is that the New Republic is basic the way that they're writing it. The New Republic is the Empire 2.0.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. But like
But and
you know
this is what Disney is giving us. We couldn't have actually had something like the expanded universe that had problems, but it actually was better.
I was gonna say, you know what would make all of this better, this whole scene for me, is if
What?
this guy didn't believe like force users were real. And I'm not saying this is better written. I'm just saying if this man didn't believe force users were real, then when Balin and his fucking mute Padawan come in and they start hacking these guys down and they slowly kill him, it would be more emotionally satisfying.
Yes, I would actually agree with that. If he was the
Yeah, no,
equivalent of
I agree there.
if he was the equivalent of that Imperial officer from the first movie that gets choked out by Darth Vader after saying that,
Admiral
yeah,
Moti.
what?
Admiral Moti.
Oh, okay.
That's the guy's name.
But the guy who says that we don't need your hokey your hokey religions. The Death Star is the true force of the galaxy now. And then and oh shit, it's actually real.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Your sad devotion to that ancient
Yes.
tradition.
Thank you. That's I didn't have it off the top of my head, but that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, you're talking
No,
about
like
Conan Moti.
I was gonna say, like imagine if Jimmy Badass over here assumed that Luke, Ezra, Ahsoka, Canon, all these guys that were part of the rebellion are just like con artists.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what he thinks.
If the guy just assumes all Force users are just skilled con artists, she's a skilled, like, let's say he's like Ahsoka brought that guy to the ship and he clearly doesn't trust her. He's like just another con artist that helped us win the war or something.
Yep.
That would make sense.
Yeah. I'd be on board with that. It would still annoy me, but it wouldn't annoy me quite as much. The reason why it would still annoy me is because, like we said, you don't have to have the Force to be super dangerous. So you still let them on board.
No, I agree with that critique, 100% NetCat. But the only reason why I thought of that idea is because to me it narratively fits with the fact that, according to him and his men, this was an old Jedi code.
Oh yeah, no. I can get what you're saying. Yeah, I do get what you're saying. I'm not trying to refute that. I'm just saying I still doesn't fix
I
it.
agree with your criticism. Still, I think it's fucking retarded that this idiot let these people on anyway. I don't care if it's a Jedi or fucking Hondo's space pirates. This was dumb.
Well, even if here's the thing, even if he did let him on, he's got to go on there with like a full elite squad.
Yes,
like
and without him being
troops.
in the front, and without him being in the front.
Well, here's the thing.
This is Jimmy Badass. He has to be in the front.
Here's the thing: if he is in the front, he should at least be wearing some sort of body armor or something.
If you were wearing a body armor the same way that Gideon was at the end of Mandalorian, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Then maybe.
Well, guys, you don't get it. He doesn't need body armor.
Well, even with some type of body armor, you still have some. Like if somebody shoots you, the blast hits the armor. It doesn't hit you in the chest or the lung or anything valuable.
No, Nazo, this old guy has it all figured out. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't need armor. He doesn't need any rules.
I get what Dad's saying. He's talking about he's leading into the tropes.
He doesn't need any of that stuff. He knows what he's doing.
There are some tropes that I love. The incompetent officer, especially in the current canon, has been used so freaking often though that it's become one of my like annoyance tropes. I'm like, oh, you mean there's another old officer man who underestimates the bad guy or the new youth because he has years of experience and there's nothing that can surprise him anymore.
Yeah, okay. I'm kind of down with it happening, but not as the first scene with no buildup. Because if we were to build up that this is what's happening, because I could quote various books where it's done exceptionally well for something like this, but it requires like half the book to build it up to make sure that it's extremely clear why and how he's in the position that he is. And how it makes sense before everything goes to hell. But just having it,
what would have been cooler?
But just having this in the prologue of the book would be fuck off.
Yeah,
and
they should have dedicated at least 20 to 30 minutes of introducing this guy and his staff before.
yeah, they should have had some kind of a scene where it shows them talking and planning or something, and basically introducing these dark
here's the thing,
characters. It would have been cooler. Would have been cooler is if they did everything we were talking about. They had the elite warriors, and the captain was in the back, and he was getting ready to command them. And they go to the shuttle bay, and then the shuttle door opens, and nobody comes out. So they look around, they start to investigate, and these two dark Jedi, pop out of nowhere, and then fucking commando them. That would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been better.
That would have been a lot better. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. This type of trope was even done better in, believe it or not, the series that takes place before this, Rebels. When what's his name? Commander Sato gets captured by the Imperials in Rebels. He's surprised by all the stuff Ezra's doing, like all the Jedi stuff. He's like, "Just hang back, man. He's got this."
Yeah.
Like, no, there are times, I do agree with you, Nat. There are times when the trope is actually done well. And here's the thing. They didn't even have to kill this guy off. They could have introduced him as like a new extra character that like he actually survives the initial assault, and he ends up going with the like Ahsoka and Sabine, and he's like,
and he's going to cause more problems for them later.
well,
You know what? If I was,
he could kind of be seen as a comic relief, but at the same time, like a legitimate character in his own right, and because he's learning about these characters, and he's learning. Well, there's some things I never experienced. I can't believe there's all these threats out there.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, if I was Balin, I wouldn't even have me and my apprentice hack these guys down. Considering how incompetent he is, it's clear he's weak-minded. I would just do the Jedi mind trick, get him to give me the prisoner, and then I'd be on my merry way.
Well,
You don't even have to fight this guy.
They didn't even need to use the Jedi mind trick. All they needed to do was show the lightsabers. Say, Ahsoka Tano has sent us to take the prisoner the rest of the way because she's worried that the Empire might try to get her out.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard of Imperial patrols in this sector. The Jedi Knights are returning. We'll take the prisoner off your hands. And
I'm a bit skeptical. I'm a bit skeptical on that, Nazo, because this guy didn't even give Balin a chance to pull any con. He was just like, well, I know what you're about.
Yeah.
Again, he shows him
honestly,
the lightsaber.
but that wouldn't necessarily convince them. I would agree with that.
Mind trick could work too. It's not like
I like my idea better. My idea is more dramatic. It's more believable.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we all agree this
yeah.
guy's an idiot, but then again, so is most of the New Republic's leadership.
And he gets his
I'd argue
entire...
I can't believe I'm saying this. Oh, you go first.
And he gets his entire ship's complement killed for his idiocy. Bravo.
I was gonna argue. I'll probably get hate for saying this, but I'd argue that most of the characters in both episodes are idiots. Most of them. And I'm the guy giving it a 5 out of 10. I said it's okay. I don't even hate the show, but most of them are idiots. Ahsoka especially. Some of the decisions she makes, stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Mm-hmm. And yay!
Well, it's a show about females, so go figure.
Wow, you had to go there, Jake.
No, I'm just saying the only guys you see, the first one's dead. The next one is just making announcements. You don't see him again, and then the other guy is the evil guy, and the rest are women.
If Thrawn, if Thrawn,
let's not get into genderness here. Let's just.
Wow. Okay. I was like, if Thrawn disappeared in Rebels, and the Night Sister Morgan, apparently had a map of him, maybe she kept in contact with him or something while he was in that other location, that other galaxy.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'm going to talk about that in great detail because I'm calling bullshit on that right now.
Look, I'm still questioning the fact in Disney canon how characters can just disappear from the main universe for like generations, and somehow outsiders have maps of these people. I'm still
Yeah.
questioning the fact that Jake Skywalker doesn't want to be found. He doesn't want to be discovered. Yet he made a map and left it behind in R2, no less. I'm still questioning some of the writing decisions.
Okay,
That
for
is
those of
true.
you who watch Rebels, I have I have a serious question. And with Ezra and Thrawn, what the hell happened? Because we're searching for Thrawn. So what did Ezra do to make Thrawn be unfindable?
Oh, wait a minute. Is it
Yeah, no,
did
well,
Dave
that's
retcon?
again, Net hasn't watched the cartoon, so I'll recap. Do you know what Purgle are, Net? Yes or no?
I said no.
Okay.
Space
Do you
whales.
remember in Mandalorian season 3 when Grogu was looking at that weird space whale through hyperspace?
Oh, are those called Purgles? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of the space whales. I don't know.
Okay.
I,
Well,
I,
Ezra had a
I,
connection with the space whales. When
okay,
Thrawn was invading Lothal with his Star Destroyers, Ezra summoned the space whales.
okay.
Ezra
I've
was
heard a little bit of
aboard.
this.
Ezra was aboard Thrawn's Star Destroyer, and uh, the space whales tore apart most of the Star Destroyers, but pulled Thrawn because remember the space whales can move through hyperspace. They
Yep.
pulled Ezra and Thrawn through hyperspace, but I guess to another galaxy.
Okay.
You know, Nazo, as controversial as that outcome is for many, including some EU fans, I actually love how that played out. I don't just love how that played out. I love how Ezra took out Thrawn.
Okay.
Well,
Th-
here's the thing.
th-
I
th-
do agree with you there.
this actually leads to my next thing. And this map is not necessarily a map to Thrawn. Then this is a map to where the space whales would have gone, which actually makes us make a little more sense as to why this might have been in the Witches of Dathomir's there's there's shrine or whatever this is,
They can
because
sense the whales.
because it would make zero sense if this is actually a map to Thrawn, because Thrawn is not some godly being. Thrawn is an insanely competent Grand Admiral.
Hey,
But
No,
there would
no,
be
NetCat,
no
remember?
this is
but
actually a map to another galaxy.
Hey, NetCat,
that's what
remember when you
but
said
no but that's my point. This map is not actually a map to Thrawn, which is the way that they were talking about being. It's a map to a different galaxy. So that actually makes this
That
make a
Thrawn
little bit
happens
more
to be in?
sense.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
NetCat, I came to a realization. Remember when you told me earlier that Dave Filoni is the king of retcons?
Yes.
I came to a realization just now. I remember at the end of Rebels, Dave saying in several interviews and quotes that Ezra and Thrawn are in the unknown regions. Now they're in a completely other galaxy. I guess they just kept moving. I don't know.
I
Maybe
guess
maybe
so.
Ezra and Thrawn went there. Like maybe the space whales went to the unknown regions because they are interdimensional, and then maybe they went to the other galaxy
Yeah.
eventually. Maybe I don't know. But he said that that's where they are. Unknown regions for the original trilogy, for the duration of the original trilogy. They're somewhere in the unknown regions. Now they're in another galaxy.
Yeah. To be fair, could the other galaxy be unknown regions according to these people? Because they
Well, the
don't know anything
unknown
about.
region,
The unknown
well,
regions is a portion of the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a portion of unexplored space. That's where like the Chiss homeworld Scylla is.
Oh, right. Yeah, never mind. I had a brain fart there. Yes.
Yeah, but I think you're onto something, Nat. This may be their understanding of that. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't realize that. Maybe, yeah.
No, I'm sure Dave knows what the unknown regions are. I just think this is another. This is either a change or this is a progression from where he established where they are.
Yeah.
Or it's another retcon.
Yeah, probably. I will say the second galaxy is the most interesting aspect to me of these two episodes. That
Mhm.
that Thrawn's in this other galaxy, and they have to go there to get Thrawn. That's the most interesting thing in this show so far.
What I find interesting is that everyone talks about this being a map to Thrawn when it makes no sense to the idea that it would be a map to Thrawn.
No, it's simply a map to another galaxy that a species from the other galaxy left behind,
Hmm.
and Thrawn just happens to be in that other galaxy.
And then
Hey,
that makes
NetCat,
me wonder but then that makes me wonder how they would know that this particular map is what they need to be searching for.
hey NetCat, I was
Night
critical. I
Sister
would have,
magic. I don't know.
yeah, I
That
would have
makes zero sense
questioned.
anyway.
I would have questioned what you guys were saying too if I didn't remember that Night Sister magic was involved. I'm like, maybe
Oh,
she connected to Thrawn's soul or something, so wherever he
yeah.
goes, she can track
Again,
him.
that still makes
But
zero sense, and the
but
reason why that makes zero sense is because Thrawn is not force sensitive.
but
Thrawn
here's the
doesn't
thing.
have the force. His whole appeal is that he doesn't have the force. He's an
That was my
intelligent.
point. That was the first thing I said after we watched that second episode last night. Remember,
Remember,
Nazo?
remember, Nazo, midichlorians are in the blood cells of all living things.
That part is true. Mhm.
Doesn't mean everybody hears the force the same way.
No,
Mhm.
not that they hear the force the same way, but I'm thinking with a certain type of training, Thrawn could probably have the force.
What's a
And I
In
would
certain
some
say
way.
artificial imbuing of an
oh,
M count, but that's
okay, let's clear something up. With enough training, according to George, every person can use the Force. However,
Yep.
that means that your random person might, after years and years, decades of training, be able to make a penny move of less than a centimeter with your mind.
Well,
Just because
pretty much.
here's the explanation, Netcat. While with enough training, any life form can use the Force, according to George. George did establish that since certain life forms have more midichlorians than others, certain life forms can perform greater Force abilities than others. So
I
let's
already
say
know
Han
this.
Solo, yeah,
Trust
let's
me,
say
I
Han
I already
Solo
know
had
this.
training.
You aren't
Yeah,
telling
let's
me
say Han
anything
Solo
I
had
don't
training.
know.
I'm sure he wouldn't be able to do what, say, Anakin could do, for example.
Hmm. But also, it's been, at least in my mind, been established since we're using Han Solo. Han Solo actually is force sensitive. When he has his feelings, that's that's coming from the force.
I
So
think
use
Han's
something
issue
so,
is similar
so
to Sabine's.
yeah, I can buy that.
In Yeah,
But the,
Canon had that scene. There was a scene in Rebels where Canon said that while Sabine has access to the Force, since she's not open to it, she can't do much with it. And I think with Han,
hmm
that's the same case.
yeah, I could buy that. And that's kind of what I'm saying. If you're using Han as your example, I'm going to say you're using a loaded example. Oh no, we
It's
need to
just a
take
random one
no, it's not random.
to me. I
you,
just
you,
picked a
you,
random
you,
name out of the hat. I could have went with Jar Jar. Oh no, the Darth Jar Jar theory. Forget I said that.
yeah. Use Wedge Antilles.
I should have used Wedge until or Porkins. I should have used
Yes.
Porkins. That would have been a
Using Han
great.
Solo. Han Solo is friggin' force sensitive. Mhm.
That could explain him not getting hit by those army of stormtroopers. I don't know.
Or how he showed up, even Chewie showed up at the right time when they were doing the trench run. Remember that?
Yep.
No, that was mainly because Han was like, let's see, do I want to collect my money and let my friends die with the Empire and just like, go on about my merry way, or go back and save my friends? You know what? I think I'll go back and save my friends.
Yeah, that was more him having an attack of conscience.
It was the will of the Force.
Oh, JJ, I've never seen you on camera before, man. Yeah, it was the will
Hey
of the
there.
Force. Yeah. You've probably never seen me on camera either, though.
You haven't seen me on camera. Yeah, and you're not going
Okay.
to. my avatar up here, which actually is a picture of me with my with my avatar on top of it, is actually a picture of me, and that's the closest you're gonna get.
Oh, okay. It's a mystery. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I love
Han's a better
Justice.
person. Han's a better person than me. If I showed up again, I would have shot down a couple of ties, but I'm not doing anything else. I'm bolted.
Now, honestly, I did actually like this fight sequence here.
Yeah, this was okay. It was an okay fight.
The fight itself was fine, but one thing that I did that I legitimately liked about it was that so often you see a droid go, oh, I'm gonna gonna self destruct, and you just need to get out of its immediate vicinity. And so it's kind of like a, well, okay, it's almost a hollow threat. These things are actually rigged with the equivalent of a nuclear bomb in them. So when they say self destruct, they actually freaking mean it.
Did anyone have an issue with Ahsoka's run? It's a nitpick, but when she was running, I didn't buy that she was running. I don't know why.
Let's take the volume all the way
I
off.
didn't have a
And
problem. I didn't have a problem with the running. I actually do have a problem with them having explosives, and the reason why I have a problem with them having explosives, this is the one reason why, they're there to retrieve the map. If you blow up the ruins in the map, you don't get to find Thrawn.
true, but here's the question about priorities. Would they prefer her to have it, or or her or it not to exist? Because it might be what we want it, but we're more interested in keeping you from having it.
Okay, well, when they lost the map, you saw how easily and quickly they got it back.
Yeah. I,
So
I,
why send explosive droids to cut off your only link to the Grand Admiral?
True enough. The thing that and given the fact that these are the same guys that showed later, they probably are with them. But at first, I was thinking that they were a separate faction. So that's where my headspace was at that point.
Yeah, I get you.
But since they
Yeah.
are the same faction, you've got a point on that. But I still like the fact that them saying that their self destruct function actually had teeth.
My guess is it was an automatic response to Ahsoka getting the upper hand against them. Their automatic response is for victory in a fight is just to blow shit up.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. They had to know with assurance that when the ruin was destroyed, the artifact would somehow, sustain.
Mhm.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
artifact has to be indestructible, basically.
Yet we know that it isn't, or at least that they don't believe it is, because when they come back down here later, they say it's either with her or it's been destroyed.
Plot
Yeah.
hole. Plot hole. Plot hole.
Wait. So they were fully intending on destroying it. What the hell?
I guess their mindset was they'd rather either have it or make sure Ahsoka doesn't have it. That's probably
Yeah, but again, their whole plan hinges on Thrawn coming back.
Yeah.
If the map is that disposable, what's the whole point of going after it?
Look, Nazo, I'm still trying to question the fact that a Night Sister sees the value in Thrawn. I honestly.
Oh yeah, no. Again, I'll get to that. The whole this is something I touched on in a space, and I really want to talk about it because it frustrates the hell out of me.
Oh my god. So yeah, initiate
But
self-destruct
yeah, as far as the
protocol.
fight goes, yeah, this is a good fight.
And now that we're talking about it, and I'm thinking about the fact that this is not a third faction, that does create problems. I was thinking, but I had in my head at this point that this was a third faction.
Like maybe the Inquisitor wasn't on the same side as these guys,
Yeah.
and these were his droids. That would have made more sense.
Mhm.
Holy shit! With this level of destruction, maybe they should have dropped these droids in like the Republic capital or something. They could have caused some real damage there. I don't know. Do we
Not
really
just
need
that, they
Thrawn?
could have dropped these like level nukes on like any sort of New Republic installation. Like, wow, I can't believe the Empire has this level of firepower.
Yeah. I mean, I
You
thought that
know,
this level of
yeah.
firepower was mostly intended for Star Destroyers.
Well, we're
Like,
putting
what
them
were
in
these droids
assassin
fucking
droids now.
packing? What were they packing? Holy shit! The explosion's bigger than whatever could have been inside of them.
Yeah, let's
They're
fast forward to that
essentially
explosion. Let's look at that explosion.
they're essentially walking communicating suitcase nukes
Yep.
is what they
You
are.
know why? You know, honestly, why couldn't have been like thousands or like millions of droids just waiting for Ahsoka when she got there? Like that was a set plan already, so that the explosion would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like they could all self-destruct, and then Ahsoka does her run thing. I don't know.
And is this robot not robot? Is this droid from Rebels
He's from the Clone Wars.
or okay from
Wait,
Clone
which
Wars?
droid?
This droid right here.
Oh,
The Jedi
yeah,
droid.
the screen hasn't caught up on my end. I still just see
This is the
Ahsoka.
droid. This is the droid that takes Jedi younglings to get their kyber crystals for their
His
lightsabers.
his name is Hugh Yang. Yeah, he
Yep.
Yeah,
what I've read in like the lore book for the current canon, he's actually really old. Like this droid is like thousands of years old.
Yeah.
how did Ahsoka find him? I don't know. Did she? I don't know how she found them.
I think she did.
No,
Mhm.
I'm genuinely curious. This isn't snark. I'm not ripping. I just want to know, how did she find them?
Yep. And he's got the Jedi protocols ingrained so much that it's like, yeah, I was at a safe distance. That's why you couldn't talk to me. Well, that's
Yeah.
safe.
Didn't in Disney canon, doesn't Palpatine doesn't he either withhold or destroy anything related to the Jedi? How did Hugh Yang keep like going? I don't know.
Good question.
My guess is he escaped the purge.
Maybe, yeah, maybe he did.
Hmm.
Plus, I don't believe force sensitive people can sense a droid.
Yeah.
Only
typically-
organic. Only only organic.
Well, you
Yeah,
can't
so
sense
they
the
wouldn't know.
droid, but the oscillations of energy you can feel.
Mhm.
Does anyone remember that very hilarious? It's hated among EU fans, but it's this hilarious EU story where that red R2 unit basically destroyed itself intentionally because it knew R2 was destined for something in the Force.
I think I remember something about that.
Yeah, I heard it's non-canon, but apparently that story confirmed that droids could sense the Force on some level. And you know what? Part of me wishes that was canon because that would explain near droid sentience.
Okay, droids are sentient. That's why they're droids and not robots.
Yeah.
They are sentient. At least in the expanded universe, they're sentient.
What does anyone think of Hera's live design? I thought it needed work. I'm not a big fan of the way she looks. I wish they could have made it look a little better.
The design she has is. Are you talking about just the makeup job or the outfit?
No, the makeup job. The outfit's fine.
Because the outfit is actually from Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah. Like I said, I know the outfit's fine. I think Sabine, the actress for Sabine, to me she actually looked really close to her animated counterpart. I thought she was good, but
I actually
Hera?
liked it, but honestly, as you know, I'm not somebody who's watched the cartoon a lot or anything, but I thought that she looked fine.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
I said
I'm
the
strapped
kind of
same-
in
to a
that same
chair.
category.
I said the same thing. I go, there was something missing from Hera. Sabine was good. Rosario's Rosario. So, but I thought the Hera character, to me, she seemed too old. she had like her face was too old. Does that make
It
sense?
is 9 AB. Is it? No, it's somewhere around 9 ABY, and Rebels took place before OT, so it's been a while, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rebels
Okay.
took place was about 5 to 2 years before A New Hope.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, it kind of makes sense that Hera would look a little older considering she's a mom now.
Oh yeah, Jason. I guess she stored him away somewhere.
I
Maybe.
forgot that they gave somebody else his name.
I know. I found that funny too. You know, it's like
I'm not amused.
Yeah.
Not amused. When I heard that, I was not
was
amused.
amused. You know what? I'm like maybe Ahsoka could have went to Luke and Book of Boba and said, I know you're trying to start this a new Jedi school to bring the Jedi back. I have a friend who has like a force sensitive kid. Maybe you could take care of something. I don't know.
One thing that I'm extremely critical of is anytime that Disney decides to take to crib the notes from the expanded universe. It's like, guys, you explicitly decanonized it, saying that we want to do our own thing. So do your own thing.
Hey, you don't understand that, Cat. Borrowing from the EU is our speciality. That's what
Yes,
we
I
do.
know. That's
Yeah,
part of
it's
what
also
pisses me
incredibly
off.
lazy. It
Yeah,
says something about you when you take ideas and characters from a completely different universe and try to rework it in your current storyline in
hey,
hopes to get people to like it, but it's incredibly desperate and lazy.
hey,
Naza, there's a reason why.
free the droids, free the droids. This is what we're being very, very us right now. No, guess what? This happened in one of the books in New Jedi Order.
I was gonna say, Naza, there's a reason why I say Rise of Skywalker is a shitty version of Dark Empire.
That's because it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, and I
If I'm
didn't like
being blunt,
and I didn't like Dark Empire either.
I
What
like
what
Dark
the,
Empire. There's actually a
what
good lesson to it.
Well, the thing
I
that
like
kills
Dark
me,
Empire too.
here's the thing that kills me when people say, you know, you guys have a problem with Palpatine coming back in Rise of Skywalker. In the EU, they did it in Dark Empire too. They also did it in Dark Empire, and you liked it then. My response is, I didn't like Dark Empire.
What pissed me off, what pissed me off with some Disney canon fans is when they're like, "Oh, you have an issue that they brought Palpatine back in Disney Star Wars when Dark Empire," and I'm like, you know what? You know why I'm mad? The reason why I'm mad is because they discarded the EU and said they would stay true to George's canon, which, according to George's canon, Sith and Darkseid users have no way of coming back. In the EU, they have ways, but in George's canon, they have no way. But
Yeah,
now
that's a
they're
point.
going to say,
Yeah.
after saying fuck you to the EU and saying that they'd stay by George's canon, they said fuck you to George, and now they're stealing from the EU. I'm like, fucking pick one. Which
If they
continuity do you want to stay true to?
if
Like,
they
which one?
if they at least canonized is the Dark Plagueis novel, which, if I remember correctly, George did actually help with, then they could have done it. But no, they had to make sure that the Darth Plagueis novel also was decanonized. They could have actually had something that could have actually given them their fig leaf to hide behind. But nope.
So, somehow Palpatine returned. You know what? At least say what you want about Dark Empire. At least it gave me a logistical reason for how Palpatine returned.
Oh yes,
Somehow.
yes, completely.
Well, I've
I
made this art.
just because I didn't like Dark Empire doesn't mean that I don't think it was better, because it was
It
better.
was better. I agree.
Well, I've made this argument before as to which one was more respectful to the Chosen One prophecy and which one was written better. If we're talking which one was more respectful to the Chosen One prophecy, then sadly I have to give it to the Rise of Skywalker. But as for what's better written, it's Dark Empire.
No, you couldn't. Honestly, Nazo, I disagree with you, man. Like, I will give the EU this point on the grounds that it came up with reasons around it. With Disney canon, the whole idea of Palpatine coming back in the first place says "fuck you" to the Chosen One prophecy.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When Palpatine comes back, in the Rise of Skywalker, he's on life support, and even so, he's already on death's door. He's already like not he's already not going to live much longer anyway. And even when he gains power, he never leaves that sector of Exegol. He's pretty much he's pretty much there, and like he's beaten within like 10 minutes of getting his powers back.
No, the reason
So,
why I give it the Dark Empire.
Well,
The reason why I give it.
let me get to my point. Well, as to why, in Dark Empire, Palpatine is fully back. He's in a young clone body. He's addressing the leadership of the New Republic in like a public like message. He can control force storms and has a giant weapon called a galaxy gun and a star destroyer that looks like a cruise ship, like a Titanic version of a star destroyer. So yeah, like there's zero debate in Dark Empire that Palpatine's back. In Rise of Skywalker, you can debate it because like he's really a shell of his former self, and even when he does have power, he has it for like 10 minutes before he's killed.
Yeah. Naza, the reason why I'm gonna give Dark Empire the point still is because even with the EU, it's like they confirmed that Palpatine died. Disney canon, especially in its lore, it also alludes to the fact that Palpatine never truly went away, which tells me that Anakin never killed him, which basically falls in the face of the whole Chosen One prophecy. He was just hanging around on Exegol for 30 years.
Not only that, but not only that, but to bring levity to the situation. Even if Palpatine dies, there's still a Palpatine out there, but she claims to be a Skywalker. Well, that's all I'm going to say about that one.
So I'm going to point out that pretty much none of this has anything to do about Ahsoka. And isn't it interesting how little we care about what's going on in the show we're supposedly talking about?
I told you, NetCat, I only care about the new galaxy. And
no, I know.
I brought in Ezra. The rest of this, I don't.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I'm getting up at 3:45 in the morning tomorrow morning, so I don't really want to be spending all the night on this.
I get you. So let's move on to the next whole point.
Yep. So we're talking to Hera, and hey, look at this. Let's go over her just the complete incompetence that got Elspeth taken. I mean, there's not much more to it than that.
Oh, they got a visual on them. That's nice.
Yep. And now, if Thrawn survived, then maybe Ezra survived. So let's bring Sabine in. Woo! Oh yeah.
You know what I don't like?
And here we have to, and here the point is that we have to establish that Sabine is a rebel without a cause.
Oh, you talking?
I was gonna say, Oh, you go first, Nazo.
You're talking about that whole motorcycle scene where she's like
yep.
She's got like Huttese guitar music playing in the background.
Yeah, but because she's supposed to be here at the ceremony, but of course she's not. So she has to be just going, woo, fuck everybody.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you know what I don't like about this trope in terms of continuations?
Like, that's a rip-off of Top Gun.
Rebels ended off with Sabine and Ahsoka vowing that they would dedicate a long time to go find Ezra. And then we cut to Ahsoka, where Ahsoka and Sabine aren't just not together, but they also, according to the dialogue, have failed to find Ezra. And this is a typical trope that happens in continuations of franchises with sequels, where the movie or the show will end with them saying, we're going to go do something. And then the continuation says, well, they quit off screen at some point, and now they have to come back together to do what they set out to do at the end of the first like entry. I always
Yeah.
get tired of that trope, and
What-
Ahsoka just did it.
To be fair, Dan, the ending
when
of
does
the
it
ending
been-
of
I'm
the
sorry, what
ending
did
of
you say?
Rebel. I was gonna say, to be fair, Dan, the ending of Rebels is where the end of the second Ahsoka episode picks up.
Mhm.
The ending.
That's the same scene.
Oh, I
Only
was
Ahsoka
wondering
is
about
in white.
that. That scene,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
I was wondering that scene where Sabine is standing there and she's monologuing, and at the end of Rebels, it looked just like that scene at the second episode. I was wondering if those two were the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just Ahsoka's not Ahsoka the White in that scene. Which, again, why wouldn't you make it match up?
Did Dave ever confirm this, that it's the same scene?
No, but you can easily see the parallels there. It's like she even touches Ezra's face like she did in the animation.
Yeah, she does. I'm just thinking about it. So that means that during Rebels, during like Sabine's monologue, that means that somewhere down the line, Ahsoka decided to train Sabine for some reason. I still don't get that. I don't know why
Well,
that was a thing.
yeah, and it's to tell you the truth,
Yeah.
I kind of understand why they went this route, because the one thing I was worried about was that, and they could still ruin it with this trope, was that Sabine will be like flowing with unearned force powers, but they actually pulled a trope that I didn't mind, which was, and I've seen this before. There was a character in the was it Yoda Dark Rendezvous and later Republic Republic Commando books. A girl named Elizabeth Hugh Duang, I believe his name, Esther Hazy. They called her Scout for short.
Yeah.
And she was not strong in the Force, but she that she turned that into an asset rather than a liability.
You know who
Mhm.
also wasn't strong in the Force? Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he still kicked Anakin's ass. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But
Yeah.
honestly, Nazo, one thing I will say is what would have made this trope work for me. I don't even hate the idea that Sabine got Ahsoka training anymore. I don't even hate it anymore. What would have made more sense is Ezra's sacrifice made her decide she wants to be a Jedi too. And if they made that more apparent, then I honestly would be fine with this direction. But since it's not described yet, I'm just sitting here saying, when did Sabine want to be a Jedi? I don't remember this. I know she wanted darksaber training. I don't remember her wanting to be a Jedi. Where did this come from?
Hmm. So yeah, now we get a little slice of life for her, seeing Ezra and yay.
Yeah.
And is that Ezra Miller? They them?
No, not Ezra Miller. Ezra
I,
Bridger.
I, are you sure?
Yes,
Are
I'm
you,
sure.
you sure?
I'm sure. I'm sick. I'm sick of people getting them. It's just like the assholes that got Ezra mixed up with Urza from Fairy Tale. I'm like, no.
To be clear, that was me making a joke. I was not
I know
mixing them
you were
up.
making a joke. I'm just messing with you too.
Okay. Yeah. So yay.
Live
I'm
action
counting on you to
Ezra.
see this through. Woohoo.
He's gonna be a fucking MacGuffin, isn't he? Now, I wanted him to appear in the show, but I bet he's just gonna be off screen for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll make an appearance at the end. I don't know.
Either the Jedi has the map or it was vaporized.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Hey, you know what's funny? Ahsoka's like, Ahsoka talks to Hera, and Hera's like, okay, you need to decode this map. Well, like, it's time to go talk to Sabine. I'm like, Ahsoka, you know Luke in this continuity, who's been collecting Jedi artifacts for how many years? Wouldn't it make more sense if you go to him?
That's a point.
Sabine's the random. Okay, she has the artistic eye. I still don't know how that fucking helps her case, but whatever.
I explained this. I explained this in the space before. Just because a Jedi has the Force doesn't mean they can necessarily understand puzzles, because the mind is limited.
That's very true.
No, I'm not saying that that Luke would know how to do it. I'm saying that if I was Ahsoka, with my own logical reasoning, Nazo, who would I rather pick? Luke, who's a Jedi who's been collecting Force artifacts, or my Padawan, who I had all this infighting with. Essentially, we had a falling out, and now they're just a rebel for rebel's sake. Like, on
Yeah.
I
top
would
of
bring
that,
in both.
both?
I would bring
Okay,
in
yeah,
both.
both
Yeah,
probably works.
Sabine for her artistic, look, and Luke for backup because I'm fighting 3 fallen Jedi.
Yep. This is like talking about Marvel when watching Black Widow and going, well, why didn't we have any backup from
No,
any of
it's
the other?
hard. I got
You know what?
kicked.
Where's
I
Falcon?
can't
Where's
I
Captain
can't believe
America?
I'm defending. I can't believe I'm fucking defending Black Widow as much as I don't like that movie. But she is. This does take place after Civil War, and she essentially did turn on the Avengers that were
On
pro
some of them.
registration.
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying what I'm saying is that not she didn't turn on all of them. She
To
didn't get
be
help
fair,
from
I was.
but she didn't even try to get help from any of them.
To be fair,
The ones that are. Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna say Nazo?
I said to be fair, I was more upset with Iron Man 3, when Tony didn't even bother calling Steve for help
Yeah.
or Fury. Where the hell were they in Iron Man 3 when the president was kidnapped by the oh god, what the extremist terrorists?
Probably on Shield
Mhm.
missions. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
My guess, rescuing the president of the United States isn't enough for you to come back and do something about it. I don't know.
No, you don't understand, Nazo. If Nick and Cap decide to go save the president from the Mandarin, they'd have like a sassy female, younger female, lower level ranked female, maybe Quake from Agents of Shield, telling them that they don't understand the plight of the people and they should be helping the people instead of saving the president's life.
This is the same argument I see.
Or better than that, he was busy messing around with the scrolls.
That's
Yeah.
not just a
No,
random joke. I'm referencing a specific
Yeah,
season
he's
7
referencing
scene.
He's referencing Captain America and the Winter Soldier. But this is the same
No.
argument I see.
You know what I'm
I know
referencing?
that. I know
I'm,
that.
I'm,
I
ref-
know that.
I'm referencing
This
Star
is
Wars:
this
The Clone
this
Wars
this
season 7, where Ahsoka
Yeah,
tells
that's what I was
Anakin and
getting at.
Obi-Wan. Yeah.
No, the Chancellor needs you. Like you, I'm thinking to myself, you understand that if the Chancellor gets kidnapped or if Coruscant falls, we lose the war and helping Mandalore is pointless, right? You know that, right?
Yep.
You've figured that out. You're not an idiot, right?
Okay. So we have now come over here and have the map. Take a look at it, and then and no, don't go anywhere with it. And then, hey, I go somewhere with it.
Ahsoka just assumed the disobedient Padawan that kept disobeying her would mature while she was away and not run off with the map while she goes into a completely other. Like,
Yeah, even though she was probably just given an earful by that but by that politician about how annoyed he probably was with Sabine for not showing up to the ceremony.
yeah.
Well,
Actually, I will admit that was actually a cool touch that they actually brought back Clancy Brown to do Ryder Azadi again.
No, I liked his appearance. I just didn't understand why he was so desperate to get Sabine to be there. Like, if she doesn't want to be there, why are you getting your men to go after
Well,
her?
let's face it. Like, Sabine is the only one that's on planet. Zeb is off doing fighter stuff. Ezra's missing. Kanan is dead, and Hera is being a general. So Sabine's really all he's got when it comes to.
Look. I get this
public
isn't what a
spectacle.
I get this isn't what a politician would do, Nazo. But if I was Clancy Brown's character, I'd be like, people of Lothal, let me be completely frank, okay? Sabine's not interested in being here. And I know you all came out here to see her, but celebrities, am I right? She wants to go and do rebel things.
Yeah, I don't think Ryder Azadi is that savvy of a politician.
I would just that's all well, one. I don't think that's what savvy politicians would do. They would just make up some bullshit
By
like
the
she
way,
got
I
sick.
saw that one dude who used to be an Imperial Cadet, Jai Kell. But where's the other guy? The one that was voiced by Dante Bosco. His name is escaping me. Give me a minute.
Oh, Jai? You mean the guy that Ezra hung out with on Imperial Day?
Hang
Or
on,
not
hang on.
Imperial Day. Oh wait, did Dante Bosco voice more than one character in Rebels?
I think he might have voiced a stormtrooper as well, but he did voice somebody. I'm trying to see who he voiced, because the name's the character's name. Oh, okay. Oh, that was the same guy, Jai Kell.
Okay.
Then what happened? I thought it was somebody else. I thought it was.
Did his parents get executed? Like I remember,
Yeah,
he
his
got
parents.
Ezra got him into deep shit, and he
Okay,
was
so
like,
that's who it was. Zer Leonis. That was the name of the other Imperial cadet. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, now we get to magically see that. Oh, look, they have lightsabers, and one of
These
them,
lightsabers look okay.
and one of them is a lightsaber from somebody that disappears. Lagasp.
Yeah.
This is so important information.
Wait, how did they get holographic recordings of their lightsabers?
From the security footage.
I
Yeah.
guess maybe. You know, you're probably right. I just don't know how advanced the holographic technology is these days. Maybe
Well,
it's super advanced.
here's the thing. They take different camera angles from the ship,
Yeah.
and they
there's
cross-reference it and put it together digitally based
exactly.
on records.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't care about this studying Revelation, because the studying
Well,
Revelation doesn't tell us much of anything.
Well, it did tell us one bit. It's that Balin's skull is a former Jedi. That's
Yay.
I couldn't have guessed that from when
he was
a
hacked.
former Jedi, like a Jedi that survived the purge.
I
He
couldn't have
had the
guessed that
old
from when he hacked down those rebel soldiers. You know?
And that he was using old Jedi codes.
Yeah, like I need to scan their lightsabers to know that they're former Jedi.
Yeah. And now Sabine's gone. And unsurprisingly, once she just after she gets it figured out, they find her. I mean, isn't that shocking?
You know what? Why didn't Ahsoka say, you know what, fine, you could decode the thing at your apartment at Ezra's apartment. Let me just come with you to make sure they don't attack or something.
Yeah.
Like Ahsoka could be the bodyguard outside.
Also, I thought it was interesting that she was actually competent enough with the lightsaber to actually have a few minutes of back and forth with this other Force user. That was actually kind of impressive. So, yeah, I mean, she gets stabbed at the end of it, but she actually held her own for a while.
This is honestly how the fight between Rey and Kylo should have gone. You know what? Maybe this is Dave saying, "Hey JJ, I could do this shit better than you." Maybe that's what this is. Yeah, he just
Sure as hell feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, like most of the stuff Dave does is still just average, mediocre. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It may be average mediocre because to me, Dave without George is not too good. But I will say that his average mediocre is a godsend compared to what other people without like Dave and John do with Disney Star. And this isn't me saying that Dave and John are going to save Star Wars. I'm not one of those guys. I'm just saying that I noticed their stuff is not as cringe as Kenobi.
Yeah. If you want to see me spurging out, boot up any of my streams about Kenobi.
yeah.
Oh, dude. Before Net showed it to me, I had zero clue how much of a pointless waste of time Kenobi was.
Oh, should I actually show that?
Don't show it on this stream. Wait till you're at Rumble, and then show Dan just how much
Oh,
of a waste of time it is.
Oh,
no,
trust me.
no,
I'm binging. I'm binging all of NetCat's videos tonight. I'm like,
but no, that is completely okay on YouTube. I've already fought Disney on that, and I won.
damn it!
That was the
What
amazing part. He fought
Disney's
them and
powerful
won.
lawyers couldn't like take away something from you at least?
Yeah, Disney tried to strike that, and I appealed it, but basically saying, "Fight me in court," and then I got my video back.
And that was back when they had more power too. So
And you see, here's the thing: I actually understand how fair use works, unlike some people do. I understand what it means to be transformative. I talked throughout the entire dang thing. You could not watch what I did and substitute it for watching Kenobi. That's the thing. Because I was ranting for the entire thing of it. So something that I want to put out here as she gets stabbed. Natsu already knows where I'm going with this. She gets stabbed,
Yep.
and then do you notice that the angle changes?
yeah, it changes a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is not a through and through stab. This is a stab. Joink. There should be a line on her back.
Well,
She really went in.
There is actually a hole on.
Yeah,
There's
there's
actually a hole on their side. In
right.
The back.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it made a vertical angle change. So there should be not a hole. There should be a line going down on her back.
Mm.
Honestly, Nazo, what would have fixed this for me is if they're establishing that post Return of the Jedi, they've developed like some technology that could like amend the organs from lightsaber wounds. I could buy this a lot. I know it's dumb, but I could buy this a lot better if they established that.
What? No, watch here. What? No. What? Watch the angle of the blade.
Yeah,
See?
she tilts it. Yeah, she does.
And
Yeah.
so for people to talk about it's just a stab. That was not just a stab. That was a stab and then a lever.
That bruise on Sabine's stomach doesn't even look like a stab. It looks like a burnt mark you get from touching the stove.
Yeah.
I think the writers forget that like people look at these episodes and like psychoanalyze them.
Well, actually, no. I'd like to say something. People talk about the missing dagger in Last Jedi as, you'd only see something like that if you're hyper analyzing it, psychoanalyzing it or whatnot. What happened here was that I watched it for the first time, and I just blinked and went, wait, did I just see what I thought I saw? And then I went back and I played it in 50%. But I saw this my first viewing. This was not me going over it with a fine tooth comb.
Oh wow, yeah, then that's sloppy. I probably would. I didn't catch it on the first viewing, but I probably would have caught it on other viewings.
Yeah, but this is my first viewing. I just went, what the hell did I just see?
Oh, I just saw the comments in the chat room. So I guess CT went into another scrap with commentary on one of Thor Skywalker's videos.
Eh.
Oh, what the?
Okay, so now I don't think I'm going to have us go through the next episode because I don't want to stay up that late.
Yeah. I'll give the episode this. I did feel like a small hint of adrenaline when she got stabbed. I was like, wait, so does that mean Sabine's going to be injured for a good portion of this show? But no, it just went away in the next episode.
Yeah. Okay, one sec. I'm looking for my for my actual video on Kenobi.
Oh, he's gonna
Here we
pop it
go.
up.
Here it is.
Oh boy.
You'll like
Yeah.
this.
This is just like 2 minutes long. And this was this is literally my live reaction to it. Like I mentioned in that space, I actually recorded myself live for every episode. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, Riva. Riva. No, you couldn't. Because
Reba!
yep,
I couldn't do it.
the plot stopped you.
I failed.
Because if you had killed him, then A New Hope couldn't have happened.
I killed them all and I couldn't do it.
Now we get to redeem Riva. After all that you've done.
I've given them
peace. Hey, Obi-Wan, imagine, you could have actually killed Vader, like you should have, and you could have told Reva that, guess what? I finished your mission for you. You could have done that.
You've chosen not to.
Wouldn't that have been great? Oh, wait, that also would have stopped A New Hope from happening. Both Luke and Darth Vader had literal fucking plot armor, just like Kenobi has. There was no tension for any of that. Oh, yeah, and Owen has plot armor, and Beru has plot armor as well. How many people in this show have plot armor that are important that were threatened? Yeesh. I may have been annoyed.
You know, Disney Star Wars has killed the sympathetic villain for me. Like, I'm not saying I don't care about the sympathetic villain trope anymore, but Reva's story has made me...
No, you're not free, Ben. Obi-Wan. Luke is still here. Leia is known about. Vader is still out there. So is the Grand Inquisitor. You're not freed, Ben.
Probes are tracking.
So, yeah.
Nobody important dies in Kenobi.
Reva has essentially ruined the sympathetic villain for me in many ways. Like, all the horrible shit you've done, and it takes, what, not only a couple seconds of deciding not to kill a child for you to suddenly feel a sense of remorse.
Yeah.
This is worse than Anakin. And he actually killed kids. Yeah. What's going on?
I have actually all of the audio for more than a year for my actual review of Kenobi. I just at that point I still wasn't really good at editing, and now I need to go back and actually edit it. But I have a full, approximately 40-minute long review of Kenobi that I just haven't fully edited together and published. But it's all there, and that was just a little excerpt from it. And that's what Disney have tried to keep me from putting up.
Disney was like, you can't let him spread this hate, this racist hate against our show.
Yeah.
No, seriously, like there's like other than that, like that Tala lady who again I asked, like she's not really like a majorly important character, so like who was actually in danger in the Kenobi show of dying?
Yep.
You knew that you knew they weren't going to kill Reva because she was special. Obi-Wan is protected by plot armor. The Grand Inquisitor is also protected by plot armor. Vader is protected by plot armor. Luke, Owen, Beru, all protected by plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
who was gonna die? What was his name? He's the Indian guy that's a comedian.
Yeah. They can't kill him. He's the comic relief. He needs a happy ending.
Yeah.
And they can't kill Ice Cube's kid because he's or the Ice Cube's lookalike or whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, they
So
killed the defector, the Imperial defector lady who helped people escape.
yep,
Yeah.
that's
That
it.
was their death.
That's
Hmm.
it. Like none of the major characters were in danger in the show. That
Yeah. It,
the tension was non-existent.
if I remember correctly, before I showed you guys this, you're like, it wasn't that bad, and I was like, watch
It's just
this.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you were saying it was great, but we're like, it wasn't that bad. I don't know what we're talking about. I'm like, watch this, and you're like, holy shit. Yeah, I was basically raging throughout almost all of Kenobi.
Hey, when I stopped, I think like I stopped the minute the Empire had literal visual camera photos of Obi-Wan and Leia. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I'm done.
Yeah. And I was talking about it before it even started, basically saying, yeah, your entire her premise that you're telling us tells me that it's going to be bad.
They completely shattered the original trilogy with this
Yep.
show. It doesn't make sense that the Empire believes Obi-Wan's a dead man, a myth of a bygone era, when they literally have like photos of him 10 years ago.
Yep. In
And
the Inquisitor's place, I forget the name of the of the Grand Inquisitorius or whatever, but in their stronghold, they had even there, even if they didn't recognize him at first, there has to be security footage where they're like, "Oh shit, that was him."
yeah. There's security footage, all right.
Yep. So yeah,
You
I, I,
you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
yeah, and Darth Vader himself 100% knows that Obi-Wan is alive because yeah,
I remember I gotta hate for saying this, but I was like, if Vader knew Obi-Wan was alive, then he wouldn't entrust getting him in the hands of fucking Reva. He would go after Obi-Wan himself.
yep,
All right. Well, here's the interesting part. There was an alternate version of how the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader was going to go down that actually makes sense. They were going to battle on a space station, and the space station was like going to blow up or something. And during the saber duel, Obi-Wan falls down a pit in the space station. And then after Vader leaves and the station blows up, it's left up to debate whether he thinks Obi-Wan is alive.
or if he survived like Maul survived.
Yeah, again, but the my point is that one was more ambiguous.
No, no, I know.
Like,
I
yeah,
was just being snarky, but yeah,
I know
I
you
get
were.
what you're saying.
I'm like, why didn't they do that? That was more ambiguous. That actually would have fixed any problems that they created with this show.
Yep, it would have helped. It wouldn't have fixed.
I honestly, I would even take the idea of Obi-Wan using fucking force projection. I would accept that. But them meeting in person, I'm like, no, this is
Yeah.
wrong. Completely wrong.
Yep.
He shouldn't be off. He shouldn't be off fucking Tatooine.
Completely. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have us end there. So thanks for everybody coming, and Dan. Normally, I'd be I'd be on board with having this go for 4 hours or so, which we have done before. It's
Look at
Oh,
our
just
by the
previous
way,
streams, you'll see.
this is in private comments. I don't know if you'll see it, but there was something I wanted to send your way.
oh, feel free. Oh, okay. Take a look. See.
I guess I only got part of it, not the whole thing. Did it?
Return.
Yeah, I only got part of it. Hey, you know what, NetCat? I'll send it to your Twitter account. Better.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you'd be interested in coming on next week, I'll send you a link next week too.
Sure, cool. Yeah, I might show up.
Cool. Okay. Well, I will see you guys later.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Bye.